Welcome back, everyone, to Squid Junction 42. It's Sherbert on the mic here with Devi.
Hey.
So we're getting ready for a lovely game against Right Arrow and Lando Tusk. Right Arrow sounds about the good way to pronounce that, yeah?
I think that's what we're agreeing to. I mean, the team can Twitter post about it all they want later. Anyway, Right Arrow versus Lando Tusk is going to be happening. Definitely going to have familiar players here from both of these sides, and you will be able to see that. We're going back into Mako zones for the start of this round. This is going to be a good one, especially against these two teams.
I'm expecting a whole lot of back and forth all over again.
Yep. That's definitely probably going to happen here. Unless if it's not, you never know. One team just might end up winning every fight they take, and bam, they can just go to a lockout, and that might stall the back and forth. But just generally kind of knowing the players back and forth is probably what's going to happen here with how well they're able to control areas as players. And then coming together as a whole unit, whew, this should be spicy.
Let's get right on into it. We've got Lando Tusk in the pink and Right Arrow in the green, both opening strong and beelining for zone. Right Arrow is holding on to a right stack while, yep, there we go, Mist coming out with the tri-strikes, all ready to counter that crab and bubble. Specials going out back and forth, but no one's managed to cap the zone just yet.
Yeah, the junior was still around there, still holding it into neutral, and we see that there's still kind of paint going around from Right Arrow. But now finally Lando Tusk, they were just literally drops away from capping that, and then they were finally able to get it. The machine getting the booyah off. The zone is neutralized once again. It looks like the 52 gets cornered. It ends up being 3 down on the side of Lando Tusk. Right Arrow here, holding on to the right.
Holding right and holding forward. Here they go. They build up some specials. We got 3 specials ready on the side of Right Arrow. Bubble just came out, and we'll see what happens next as Lando Tusk tries to get back on the map.
They've got a pretty good area of control there. We see the tri-strikes able to counter the crab really effectively there. The machine does have a booyah bomb as an extra measure here, but does opt to take that 1v1 as a good call there to use the weapon over the special to prevent getting splatted by going up. However, there was a dually on the side. It looks like it's just the junior left up on the top corner there for Right Arrow. And Lando Tusk, the Tetris here, are going to take the right side. Going to back up, though, knowing that members are coming back in from Right Arrow, but then finding the opportunity to get back forward. But I am surprised they survived that. The Tetris lived.
I can feel the clench from here. 3 down on the sides of Right Arrow. That Tetra held onto the wall for dear life before their teammates came and helped them get those assists. They get a pick off on the Ink Jet here, and they're holding on to the aisle, and oh, they're still alive. They have a reef slider ready for any moment that Right Arrow drops. They are definitely gonna just reef and beef them.
That's a term I haven't heard before. But a good one, Reef Slider going in, unable to catch Sleepy there. It just went a little too far forward, but Sleepy does end up getting caught on zone. We see Storm Hero with the ballpoint trying to move around from behind. The Booyah Bomb doesn't come out in time to be able to neutralize that zone, unfortunately. So game 1 going in favor of Lando Tusk.
Quick game it was. Not as much back and forth as I was expecting.
Yeah, I mean, you could see it wanted to happen there. Like, both teams kind of have a similar idea there. It's just what happened again was this one team ended up getting capitalized on and were winning their fights. And Lando Tusk, you could see that they were winning the engagements there during that whole Tetra thing on the wall. Like, the Tetra's gonna stick itself on the wall. Look, shiny! And then you have the 2 people. I actually did jazz hands when I said that, by the way. And the other 2 were in the freezer area, which is where you want to have your opponents, because it is easier to splat them in that area because it's really closed. They only have one method of escape, and just the extra pressure that came through there. You could see the double assist. 2 people were on that, and bam, they were gone.
They're ready to go. Coming up is Clamblitz on Scorch Gorge. This map is a little more difficult in my opinion because it's so large, you know, and where the basket is, there's really only one way in unless you manage to get over the grates.
Which means that there is technically two ways in, and I mean, I've seen both people do it, especially with how they push in with specials. If anything, like, they don't necessarily put the clam that way, but they'll put a frontliner that way. And then if anything, if they can't get one through one side, I've seen teams throw the clam over to the ones that already have plat secured on the other side when the teams are on like the left or anything. So there's definitely two ways that they can do that. And I've seen so many different strategies played by teams on here just by observing being stuck on the defense. And the things that teams come up with are actually really cool to do with whatever comp they're going to come out for. But we have not seen Scorch yet, but during the sets, so we get to see some play on Scorch Gorge and see fights through mid here. Is anyone going to claim top mid, or is it going to be just fights around the edges?
I'm curious to see that. I'm expecting to see the Tetra go into... If they keep the Tetra on, they're going to go top mid and possibly over the grates to try to grief them. We're getting a double crab there. Oh, this is going to be good. 4 splashes on the board. The current meta, what have we come to?
Is it going to be good, or is it like, oh, it's 4 splashes, here we go again?
That is the question.
It's gonna be good because the teams always put up a fight. We're always amused by what they can do. Of course, one crab's ready. Here comes the tri-strikes in return. Crab is still alive after the tri-strikes, but we see that splash, Neo splash ends up getting picked in return, and the ballpoint going down as well. 52 going down in the corner, but you can see the Tetras picking up where the 52 left off. But then it's kind of back and forth trades in the pillow as we see a clam made on the side of Lando Tusk here. But of course, not really any opportunities to fully push here. But the 52 back in play, going to stall it out much farther as they have the Tetris help. And that is 2 picks. There's the push they wanted. They have the economy. That is 2 clams in and more points. They are making this push worthwhile.
Lando Tusk is pulling out all the stops, using every special they can to get in and get it down to 51. Hopefully here, yep, the splash manages to get away. And Right Arrow is repainting mid, trying to keep Lando Tusk from coming back. That machine is pressuring, waiting for somebody to come up and try to paint as much as they can for the team. And here comes a splash around the corner, about to engage that machine. They both back off of it, and there's a crab on the side of Right Arrow trying to pressure that right side there. And one goes down on the other side as well. We're 3v3 here, and the Gal manages to successfully jump out. I was worrying about that one.
You can see Pony was just kind of staying back there, using the range just to make sure nobody went around the corners. We're really unsure about the corners, it seemed. Even though their teammate had Crab on the side, they possibly could have went to the other way, but they didn't want to leave the left-hand side path fully vulnerable because, as we've seen, these Tetras and 52 are moving in really well on the front line, being a distraction. Again, here's the Tetras taking the site of 2 of the range things happening right now with the ballpoints range, the Crabs range. They were just taking that for half of the special, so the rest of the team didn't exactly have to deal with it. And we see that counter specials are happening in return here. Sleepy is fighting for dear life, but does end up going down to the Tetras and the Crab happening. We see Lando Tusk ready to make this next push again. Unfortunately, one getting picked off on the front there before the wall could save them. Clams are being thrown back to save for economy here, which is a really nice tactic. And we see Apple getting ready for people to drop, getting one pick. The Tetras ready to move in as well. The team play from these Tetras and 52 is really well here. It is something to really note from this game so far is how well they're working together.
Yeah, Right Arrow's going to have to keep a better eye on them if they want to be able to get back in here. With 2 minutes left on the clock and no sign of a push yet from Right Arrow. Miss jumps back with a couple of clams. It seems to me they're trying to hold mid, not pushing too much until they're managing to get the picks here. But here comes an I'm stuttering my words. Here goes the Crab, here goes the Inkjet. We're all ready to go out here.
Yeah, the Inkjet actually being stalled out long enough by the Crab. You could see the Crab was not letting Storm being able to take flight, and Storm had to stay underneath the ledge there, so the Inkjet wasn't able to get many shots off there to help out. And right away, like, you kind of blinked, and now all of a sudden Lando Tusk is already back over underneath this ramp looking to try to make another opening. They're juggling these clams around. They have a lot to work with underneath here, while we see that right arrow is just trying to potentially maybe get a pick of someone moving in too far, but it looks like they're going for the flank route. We saw the Neo Splash go around. They go 1 for 1 there. The machine is moving in. Looks like there was another follow-up pick in return. It's just kind of going back and forth, but it looks like that Lando Tusk is kind of still able to get on the upper hand on that fight, even though like they don't have what they need to really go forward there. They ended up staying alive towards this fight, so that even if right arrow had a slight upper hand, they had the people back in, and the Tetras could just quick respawn right away. Looks like someone's going around from behind here. Hold on.
A desperate flank on the side of right arrow, trying to push in while they don't have any map control. It is successfully able to pull back some of the members of Lando Tusk, and hopefully right arrow can make the most of it. They have 2 balls up, and oh, here comes a reef slider, and it doesn't get anyone up, and then they follow it up, dropping that ball off the map.
Ooh, that is a pretty solid pick there. Even though the reef slider didn't get it, still put that player in the way of the line of sight for the Tetras, so the Tetras is able to pick that off, and of course with the splat being so close to the ledge, the clam's gonna go into the abyss.
Straight into the abyss, and there's 3 seconds left here, but right arrow has 2 balls, and they have advantage as they are in mid already, and Lando Tusk is still up in their plat. If they're able to break here, will they be able to have enough economy to continue the push if they can get in the first place as a crab comes out on the side of Lando Tusk?
They did break it!
Oh, now that they're in, there's jumps coming from Lando Tusk, and it is a fight to the
It's
death.
tied!
All that's left is the Inkjet! It's tied! They need 1 clam! They need 1 clam! 1 clam and the win on right arrow! Oh my goodness. You know for a fact the Inkjet was sweating, hoping they can get out of ult fast enough to pull that off.
Storm with the clutch! Oh my gosh!
What I wouldn't do to hear the VC right then.
Oh my gosh!
We're now 1-1 going into game 3. I need to catch my breath. That was gorgeous.
I don't know if this is a blessing or a curse, but whenever I commentate some clams game, every time there is something that happens that goes absolutely spectacular, and then it's just shown off everywhere. I've been like I said, I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse, but ever since the Myopsitis thing, here I am. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Clamblets. Clamblets, everybody.
It's not over until it's over.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Right arrow here, everybody. Made that successful right push and got that down to tie, and the Storm taking the clutch there to get that last throw in.
They didn't manage to Lando the last kill as we ended up going down there. Going into zones, Hagglefish. I'm expecting a lot of crap.
Okay, there's still more to this set, and I don't know how much more I can take. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Lando Tusk is gonna have to show their tusks here to get this next game.
Oh, Debbie broken confirmed. Oh my goodness. Let me grab my run speed boots and I'm out. Anyway, gonna go on to Haggle zones right away. We didn't get much to talk about it. I was kind of broken there after that play. Tetra's double splash again reappearing. Ballpoint double splash machine. It is relatively similar. If they even have both variants of splash on each side, it's just the ballpoint and the Tetra difference here from the side. So one's going for the extra range here, but even then, we've seen how aggressive Storm can be with the ballpoint, and anything can happen on this map here. But Tetra is getting immediately picked off. Very good job to get the Tetras early.
At the early sending of the specials, and right arrows managed to get control of the zone, but Lando Tusk not to be beaten is not far behind. Did you see that?
Yep, there it was. Inkjet over the wall. Of course, it can gain so much height now with that extra jump. And Inkjet on Hagglefish here is just kind of really nice, especially on the splatling there, to just have an extra measure so you can just control zone, and I'm just gonna peek over the corner here. Here's a shot. And then just able to get people from outside those walls, so the rest of the teammates can pressure whatever side that they have to flee to while you're controlling the cover. Anyway, we do see that, of course, lead is in favor of Right Arrow. This crab here dropping down to get to pick on the machine. And the zone is still in the favor of Right Arrow, but it looks like Lando Tusk here wants to attack from this left-hand side. Ooh. Is able to get one pick. Reef Slider was popped for a plan B measure in case that did not work out for them. And we see that zone did end up getting put into the control of Lando Tusk as a second pick had happened on the ball point there. But it looks like there is one more hiding on this one side, and it happens to be a crab. And they do end up getting a pick, and two go down on that side. And it's going into reverse favor here, but zone is still neutral. There's still some paint there. I'm saying neutral even though it is getting capped, but you know what I mean.
All four members of Right Arrow are in mid trying to maintain the zone as a member of Lando Tusk is flanking on that left side. Are they able to get out as a quick response from the Inkjet? They were not, but the Booyah was able to cap the zone. Back in control is Lando Tusk, but they don't have ink control behind them nor in front, so they're going to have to figure it out. They're either going to have to fall back a bit and try to paint up to maintain it, or just desperately hold on to the zone, and it looks like they're managing to do both. Sleepy manages to get the pick on the machine off in the flank. 2v2 now, but there's a special up on the side of Right Arrow, and I'm expecting to see that any moment now. That Tri-Strike could potentially cap the zone here, and Lando Tusk takes the lead.
Lando Tusk does have that lead. Now, there was a play there before all of that had happened in the wings where Lando Tusk actually appealed to both sides where you called that first initial flank. They were flanking on the opposite side at the exact same time. And I was like, that was beautiful.
It's true coordination.
Then they backed up and rotated to the side where they needed the more players to take the fight. It was such good movement, and we see that Right Arrow able to come back in and capitalize on the players inside there. The Tetra's just unable to get that pick in return. We see one member was trying to shark in the corner there. Did end up going back. Right Arrow is back in control here. We saw the bomb pressure coming out from Lando Tusk, able to get a pick on that splash there. And the Tetras are just moving right in with that Booyah Bomb.
As they should, and Lando Tusk is fighting. They get control back here, but not to be outdone, Right Arrow pops special and starts getting picks off. They're pressuring the machine there and pushing them all the way back. Up, and there goes the pick. The Splash trying desperately to get their way to jump out, and they succeed. 3 down on the side of Lando Tusk. Right Arrow is coming in full force. Their machine pushing all the way up to the enemy plat, refusing to go down.
Right Arrow here, they've really adjusted kind of on how Lando Tusk is playing here, because you can see that they're capitalizing on these fights now. They're bracing themselves for the special pushes. They're realizing what to expect here. So even though that cap is happening in return, there's a minute left here. Right Arrow still has to try to take the lead from Lando Tusk, but Lando Tusk able to break through here with the specials, even though Right Arrow was preparing themselves for it. You can see that the Splash does have Tri-Strikes at the ready. We see members coming in from the side. The Crab does appear pushed aside. It is in Right Arrow's favor. We're down into the last 30 seconds of the game. Penalty is ticking down, and man advantage is in favor of Right Arrow. As long as they can keep the zone painted and keep the members off of it, but they do have to be ready as there is a Crab and Booyah Bomb ready on the field. The Crab has been launched.
And they Booyah Bomb to hold the zone, and they take the Right Arrow takes the lead here in the last 10 seconds. Lando Tusk, Uno reverses it. They have their specials ready, and they reclaim the zone, but Right Arrow busts. There's one left on the side of Right Arrow, but Lando Tusk has control of the zone and are hunting them down. Lando Tusk only has 25 count left on here. If Right Arrow can't get in, can't build up specials quickly enough, this could win.
They don't have a lot of time. They gotta go now. The Inkjet trying to displace here. The Tri-Strikes appearing. They're gonna shred the Crab. The Tri-Strikes might be able to help cap it, but no! The cap ends up going back. The penalty is going down. They don't have a lot of time. You can see it's still in favor. It's coming down to the wire here. Look at these people paid!
Down on the side. That was the most contained turf war I've ever seen. Everyone had already used their special, and it was a matter of whose tank ran out first.
Turf war, but with minimal space. Literally.
Turf War small percent
You
challenge.
could just box just that entire area of Hagglefish, and there's what the match ended up coming down to. And, wow.
Oh my goodness. 2-1 in favor of Right Arrow. Pushing it to the limit.
I didn't even see how the members of Lando Tusk ended up getting picked out there, if it was a range, if it was a bomb. I just ended up seeing that there was only one splash left, and I just wasn't too sure if like one moved up far enough, or far enough. Ended up going too far into another splash's pressure, because it was literally a splash fight on the zone. So it was like, whoa.
The splash versus splash, as it usually comes down to.
Yeah. What a set this is so far.
Right? Every single game is a nail biter after another nail biter. Game 1 was a quick sweep. Game 2, the Uno reverse from Right Arrow. And once again, it seems that Right Arrow specializes in last second. Like, down to the wire, the assignment's due today, we'll do it right now.
Yeah, this is absolutely going crazy here, but we are going back to Mako Mart. Of course, another one of the top 3 maps we'll see appearing a lot, and of course the splashes are going to stay. 52 appearing instead of a machine, because we saw how much pressure Apple was able to do with that 52 during the Clam Blitz game, and it's back here for tower control.
That it is, and I'm getting ready for all these early specials, and there it goes, the Tri-Strike and the Crab. Always in the first 30 seconds, as soon as people get their special ready, they're trying to get that first control of mid and tower in this case. 2 down on the side of Right Arrow. Sleepy alone in that corner, running away from a Crab, desperately trying to get back in. They might have overextended there without a teammate to back them up, but they are holding on and manage to jump out as Lando Tusk pushes the tower to the first checkpoint.
Tower is being pushed to the first checkpoint. There's an Inkjet out there to stop it. Inkjet is able to help capitalize on that one pick. We see members of Lando Tusk on that stack wall, ready to pressure those coming back in from Right Arrow. The Crab ended up needing to be used to defend that alley there, and it does end up getting picked off. The Tetras just couldn't make it quite in time to help paint their feet. You see 2 down on the side of Lando Tusk. 1 is behind them. It happens to be the Doolies. The splash was caught out in front, and Right Arrow just kind of taking mid and then spreading out from there just to gain their control, and then moving to the side where majority was on. And now they are going to make their first push here, as we see the Tri-Strikes, the Crab, looking to clear off that snipe area for the tower to break check.
Right Arrow takes lead here, but they only have there we go. They already used their one special that's up. They're trying to counter the Crab on Lando Tusk, and they managed to get that cancel, and oh, they're just going in and getting the picks. Are they going to get the Doolies too? And they do not. One of their teammates cleans it up for them. They are holding on, but no one's moving the tower, and as soon as I said it, someone starts moving it. Sleepy pushing the toilet paper with the Crab, getting ready for the fight at the last half here. After the second checkpoint on Mako is really when things get intense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a tight corner down in this freezer area. You can see Storm there popping the Inkjet again. Has it? The checkpoint has been cleared. That is huge to be able to clear that checkpoint. Just an all-out brawl happening here as the Inkjet jump is able to be saved, and they're able to get back far enough to stay alive. And we just see that there's a Crab on the other side. That's what's happening. I'm like, members of Lando Tusk are turning around, but I couldn't see to what. Sleepy's just kind of over there stalling for now, and now coming back to help pinch with a fight. However, the fight was handled well, and Sleepy's just going to maintain this right stack while the tower gets pushed back a little further into this other point, being on Lando Tusk's side.
Storm holds down the tower and then goes down as soon as I mention them. Sleepy pops a Crab to pressure them. But here comes Lando Tusk trying to regain control of the tower. With 2 minutes left, are we going to see another spicy ending here? And 2 down on the side of Lando Tusk.
With how this set's been, you wonder what the 5 minutes is even for when you just need the overtime counter.
Precisely. Speaking of which, 3 just went down on the side of Right Arrow, and Lando Tusk gets ready for a push. They send someone on the tower, send the gal to the left, and start making it happen.
Too bad none of them have rain. Anyway, The Ink Strike and the or the Tri Strike and the Inkjet both appearing out there, but it's just an absolute, again, brawl in the corner, and we can see 2 down. But again, the man advantage appearing to go in Lando Tusk's favor this time, as they manage to get over that first check. They are trying to get it over to the middle part, but the ball point is back up in that corner where they like to be to stall. There's a bomb on the tower. You can see members going back and forth on and off the tower. Lando Tusk, it's just one there, and of course they're called out. Storm is able to find that pick. There is a minute left in this game. We see Lando Tusk is able to get this far, and of course there was just a juggle on the tower by 3 members. It seemed like neither of them really wanted to know where they wanted to go. It was just the tower was really their only place of cover. But as soon as 2 of them peeked up, it was punished. So great punishment by Right Arrow. But 2 down already again for Right Arrow. Lando Tusk finding that way in. This 52 wants to get rid of this crab and does get rid of it. Again, 52 coming in with a lot of aggressive plays here for Lando Tusk. And now just has to find a way to help protect this tower, get by here, and just continue applying the pressure they have. But Storm behind them, of all places. And this checkpoint is starting to count down here, but Tri-Strikes are going to stall it. We see the splash. One's guarding, and they're juggling between the tower here. The crab shot able to get 1 pick there. There is just under 10 seconds left here. Apple is the last one alive. They dance, and they did get the lead!
Apple should run for dear life, but they stayed in and grabbed the tower, securing that win for Lando Tusk. We are 2-2 for the winners quarterfinals, having to go into game 5.
Apple did not have to flee because they had whale. They were just waiting for the moment to pop it and go right in, because tower is just theirs with all of the whale lines right in front of it. So Apple had that locked right at the very end there by the tower.
100% power stancing at the end, well deserved.
Oh my goodness.
Holy, we are going into game 5.
Game 5. Where is your hype chat? Come on, I see your all your caps. Where's your hype emotes? I know some people have them. All of your exclamation points. Caps lock, let's go.
Clap, 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 clap.
I'm so glad someone has actually done that.
Wait, do people not know the chant? It's just the rule book. It's the rule book. Because clap never comes through on mic, so that's why I have to verbally say it.
I know, you have to literally say it.
We're going in back to Rainmaker and this lovely, lovely bridge. Crabs? Crabs. I'm expecting crabs.
Yeah, we've seen them before. We've seen the teams really come out with similar there. It's really only been a 1 weapon difference for most cases, but in this case, what is it? I guess from the clams game and just this past game in general, we've seen the 2 weapon difference there, and it's gonna come down to, again, the initial start, and really, it's been more so the last 30 seconds have been just taking most of it.
There's so many clips to be had in this set. I'm expecting, again, the first 30 seconds, if either team is able to get some of the crucial picks in the beginning, with all its specials that'll go flying out, guaranteed it's going to be at least the Tri-Strike War, and grab the Rainmaker and push it to the left side, I think we're going to end up seeing an all-out brawl like after the first checkpoint, because your options are either to go through on Inkable on the left or have to go around the dumpster to the ramp on the right, which is pretty easily guarded by a backliner. So it's anyone's game here for sure.
It can be easily guarded, but it's not so easy when the front lines are already causing a nuisance. But as we can see, like, these people know how to hold their ground, right? When something's coming at them, they can definitely hold it. Storm is a phenomenal Splatling player. We've seen what they're capable of, and definitely can hold that ground for sure. So yes, Storm will be a threat here, and if the ballpoint still stays, which I'm assuming it will. But yeah, lots of corners here. We're going to see definitely quite that brawl happen in middle, so...
yeah.
It's
gonna be. I'm so excited as we're gonna hop right on into it. Let's see if there's any changes to the comps. Yep. Same. Oh no, double crab this time. They've opted to swap out that tri-strike for double crab. See if that makes the difference, as the other team still has their tri-strike to help them control mid.
Yeah, that is the only real difference there, that the teams have kind of swapped. Of course, the 52 is staying. They are finding it is working. But yeah, then they have that double crab back just to keep that extra long-range pressure. They really want something else to help contest that range. It looks like a pick did happen. Lando Tusk was able to pick the Neo Splash on the side of right arrow. It looks like the machine goes down. This opening is already looking a lot better for Lando Tusk, and this is what they've been waiting to make happen here.
Two go down on the side of Lando Tusk. In that Reef Slider pick, beautiful textbook right there, and they're not able to get the secure the second one, but the Tetris holds on for dear life on the right side and then goes down. However, there were two down on the side of right arrow, and that may aid as Lando Tusk pushes for the first checkpoint.
They were trying to go there, but the rest of right arrow was underneath the ledge there, able to splat it before they were able to make the complete jump over with the Rainmaker. We see Apple already in the Rainmaker's face, just ready for it underneath that ledge. I don't think that they were ready for the 52 to be there. So we see Sleepy finishing off that crab. Apple and fellow teammates were up there. The crab ended up going down. Missed here with that Rainmaker, doing the fancy squid roll to get extra momentum and a little bit of shot protection to dunk that Rainmaker. First checkpoint goes to Lando Tusk.
Let's see how right arrow manages to regroup from this as the crab comes out on the side of Lando Tusk.
Flank.
Oh, Sleepy pulling off the flank to displace the crab. And the pick gets them just past the first checkpoint. Let's see if this comes in handy, as sometimes it does. There are times where you can't do anything but get the first checkpoint, and that extra point will really make a difference. Baja sharking here, and doesn't pay off this time around.
Yeah, Baja really had a nice line there. It was really tight there. You could see they were going around, and good follow-up really quickly there by right arrow to stop that that pressure from the Tetris to happen. We see more crabs, lots of line of fire here. Really good patience by Storm, just waiting to be able to go forth, but Apple able to get that one pick. Reef Slider breaking through there on the side, and we see the machine. Pony is trying to fight Apple here. Apple's trying to get this jump, does successfully get the jump, and you can see this 1v1 between the 52 and the machine was just going on for a while, but it ends up being Pony who takes that 1v1 win.
And Baja successfully manages to jump out as they were about to get pressured by both Storm and Pony in mid. Expressor's gonna try to push up that right bridge, hold mid. Whatever they're doing, it's working as they're putting plenty of pressure on Lando Tusk.
Absolutely, tri-strikes coming to counter one of the crabs, and we see that there is a lot of action happening in this top right corner. Of course, with the Tetris having the range, wait a second, actually both of them ended up going down in that corner. So what I was going to say, pressuring them into that corner, being a tight space, is definitely what they want. They ended up getting those picks from putting them into the corner, and now it looks like the barrier's pressed and the checkpoint is there. It's just a matter of who can push this Rainmaker farther than checkpoint.
That it is, and whoa, right arrow manages to get it all the way to Uninkable, a clean 33. Lando Tusk is gonna have to retaliate with only 2 minutes left on the map. Right arrow just will not let it go, and they continue to push the Rainmaker and pressure the heck out of Lando Tusk. Here comes a good Reef Slider, and it ends up in the corner. Doesn't get anyone off, but Baja manages a jump out there. Can they cancel the booyah? No, they do not. Pony escapes cleanly in that corner. There's much to see here.
Lando Tusk opting to not go for the Booyah Bomb, just realizing that the rest of right arrow was around it. Booyah Bomb just looking to stall, maybe even be that bait to try to get Lando Tusk to push. They did not fall for the bait this time. The crab able to get the lob shot over on the other side of bridge on the Rainmaker. Sleepy going down though, 2v1, but the splash here able to pick off Apple in return. So 1-for-1 on that team fight. Map control is still in favor of Lando Tusk. You see the Tetris going up on the right there with the Reef Slider getting all the way across. The Splash is trying to follow up here. Rest of the teammates are just getting their extra specials. Both crabs are online. They are using one. Now they're using the others to pinch. There is 40 seconds left in this game. The barrier is not actually popped, and funny enough, it was actually more blue the last we got a glimpse at it. So there is someone behind it that's actually keeping the barrier in the other color, but it looks like it was popped to orange. And they're able to just stall that out. So even though all those specials were happening, the Rainmaker barrier wasn't in favor yet. Like I said, it was blue when the crabs were being popped, but it looked like that Lando Tusk managed to finally get the pop, but by that time the crabs were over, and oh, what a punishment on that crab there. 3 down now on the side of Lando Tusk. It's just Apple.
And they couldn't. We got a win on the side of right Arrow. That was a game, that was a bracket, that was a sight to see. My life is enriched for having witnessed it.
This one's definitely engraved in my mind, along with the other 2 incidents. So
rent free.
And I mean, it's like, whoa. Like, I love these sets when they turn out like this. Like, what a great performance from both teams. Both had solid opportunities to make things happen. Again, it comes down towards the wire. These last 2 games felt more like each team they adapted to making sure that they secure their victory rather than, like, when the time comes closer to the countdown, rather than moving in too far and potentially going down to give the other team another push, because that's kind of what generally was happening in the zones and the clams game. Was some teams would go a little bit farther forward, they'd get punished for it, and then just couldn't get the picks, and it would just kind of be like, boo. So it was insane.
What a beautiful set for, I believe, us to end off on as we rotate
Nope.
off and hand.
Nope.
We're still here?
Nope.
Oh,
We're doing
yes.
another one. This
Let's
next one's
go.
basically already ready. We're not even cutting. We have a BRB screen on, but you still get to hear our lovely voices, okay? I hope chat's okay with that. If you're not, too bad. You get to deal with it anyway.